Do you want to start a podcast, but you're a bit overwhelmed with all the steps to take? Podcasting is a great way to build your community and connections and have loads of fun while you're doing it. And it's actually easy to start a podcast when you know how. You don't need loads of expensive, complicated equipment, and it doesn't need to take you hours of editing either to make a really good show. So let's get into the 3 tips of how you can start a podcast now. So my tip number 1 is to stop worrying about all the technology and stop allowing yourself to focus on that and getting overwhelmed on that, because actually if you know how to do it, it's not that complicated. And instead focus on what problem are you solving and for who. Don't complicate this too much. If yours is a fun podcast, a chatty podcast, whatever it is, there's a problem that people have. They want entertainment, they want or they need whatever it is. So focus on what problem you are solving and how you can help them with that. And that will really help you to get an idea of what you're going to call the podcast. How long is it going to be? What type of styles are you going to have for the music and for the whole run of show? So my tip number 2 is thumbnail. So have a think of what names that you may have, what colours, what styles would fit your podcast, would fit in helping the problem that you're solving. Think about the music, what would fit with the whole vibe and tone of what you're bringing in your podcast. And think about how long your show will be. Is it for people who commute in the mornings and they have quite a long commute? Is it people who are going to be listening to it to chill out while they're in the gym or going for a walk? How long will your show be? Will it be cut into little tiny segments? Will it be quite a speedy vibe or a relaxed vibe? Have a think about that. And let's get into tip number 3. Are you going to do your podcast on a phone or a computer? You can start very quickly, and if you see below, you will see that there is a free guide for getting started with a podcast right now using your phone. You can do this without expensive software. You can just get going almost straight away if you want to. The other recommended route is that you use a computer. So in which case you will need to have a think about, you'll need a hosting platform, you'll need something to speak into with your voice that's going to record you, you will need something that you can edit what you say. So those are the 3 main things that you can have. And if you want to use your phone, you can actually just use one app, which is called Anchor. There is another one as well. It's very, very easy to use. You can record your voice in there. There's a very simple editing function where you can bring in some music clips and edit your voice in a very basic way. You can top and tail the beginning and the end. And you can upload it as well to all the different platforms, all within that one app. It's very, very easy to use. If you want to use a computer, then you can use voice memos or GarageBand or Audacity, which all of those are free. GarageBand is a Mac only software. There are loads of apps that will record your voice, but I'd recommend that you get one where you can see the levels of your voice rather than not having any idea of how loud you are, because you'll need to make sure that you're not too loud or not too soft. So you need a recording app, somewhere to record your voice. you will need an editing app, and sometimes these are in the same thing. So I mentioned GarageBand and Audacity. There's another really good one called Podcastle, and you can record yourself and then you can edit your voice in those platforms. You could add a bit of music to the beginning and the end. You could add an intro that you've recorded earlier at the beginning and end, and different little segments or stings, whatever we like to call them, in between to break up the content. So once you have edited it, then you can upload that file into what we call a hosting platform, and that is somewhere where it holds your files and it keeps giving them out to Amazon and Apple and Spotify and anywhere else that anyone likes to listen to their podcast on. So I hope this has been really helpful. You can get started with podcasting. You can get your voice and message out there, and I'd love to know below if you've done that. So check out this video now to find out my recommended mics for a beginner podcaster.